Well, hi, I'm Jerry. Just sharing more things from the Bible with you and sharing words of the Bible, stories of the Bible. Hope you're enjoying all this. Uh, I think we're going to drop off from Acts, at least for now. Maybe we'll come back to it. I don't know. I always try to do whatever I feel like the Lord's leading me to do on this stuff. I know we're kind of like doing some things backwards in a weird kind of way, but I think at this point, maybe we need to look at the gospel. Now, you got the different gospels, and we spoke about that in the earlier videos. I'm going to start off with Matthew. It's the first book of the New Testament, and there's going to be a little bit that I skip. And the reason I'm doing it is because it's like this person begat this one, and this one begat that one. And I remember the first time I read it, I was like, well, where are you going with this? And of course, later on, I figure out what they're doing is showing you the lineage from Abraham to Jesus, really, or to Joseph, husband of Mary. But because there was prophecy that said that from David and also from Abraham, that and all this that this is where Christ would come from through that bloodline. And so by writing all this down, they're just basically proving out the prophecy. So chapter 1, verse 1, the book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. And Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Again, I'm going to skip some of this. You can read this for yourself. It just kind of gets a little boring in a way, but it's still very, it's well worth reading. I'm just trying to save some time, and you probably get a little tired of my reading sometimes. I don't know, who knows, but anyhow. So then it gets to, where are we at here? Verse 16, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David until carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations, and from carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. Guess that number 14 was kind of important. I don't know. Maybe it's just coincidence. Who knows? Anyways, verse 18. Now the birth of Jesus. Oh, let me back up just a second. All right, why are we reading through the gospel? The gospel is the story of Jesus. His birth and so forth. Like the book of Acts, that was that's talking about the birth of the church after Jesus was crucified and then raised from the dead, and then his ascension to heaven. And then the book of Acts is talking about what the apostles did and how they started growing the church. And there's other books after that, obviously, and a lot of good stuff. But the gospel, as you read through them, they're not exact like copies, if you would, because they're from different perspectives or different people who had a different perspective on their take on the story of Jesus's birth and so forth because of their profession. So anyhow, so back to verse 16, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, who was born Jesus, and whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. So all the generations, we just read through all that, are 14. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When, as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, that means she was promised to wed Joseph, before they came together, meaning they had not had relations, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. What this mean was he didn't want her, she could have been stoned, all kinds of things. But anyways, he didn't want to do that. So he was thinking, well, we're just gonna put her away privately, or privately, as they say. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Immanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bid him, and took unto him his wife. So when he was going to put her away, he wasn't planning to marry her, but now he does. And this is verse 25 of chapter 1. And knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus. So Joseph was he was a religious man, obviously, but he was also an obedient servant of God. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Anyhow, we'll pick back up on chapter 2 tomorrow. I hope this has blessed your heart and blesses your day. If you don't have a copy of the Bible, I encourage you to pick one up. And you can read along. You can read ahead if you want, reading some of this other stuff. Anyhow, that's my whole goal on this. I don't have a church. I'm not looking for you to tithe to me or anything like that. I'm not looking really. I just want you to read the Bible for yourself and go from there. Anyhow, we'll talk about chapter 2 tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Bye. Oh, I love you.